method of business would persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades, while the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux. To this day, the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes, way before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can hit the streetlights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice. We never leave love alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never care for compromise. Always threatening someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
All right, man, it's Friday, and it's, you know what time it is.
It's time for This Week in Wrestling.
Been a couple of weeks since we've been on. We had Tony on the regular show, right? And
Mr.
then,
USA?
You know, and
Yes,
a lot of fans are waiting on This Week in Wrestling this week, but we let them down, as usual.
What is, well, it's the timing. What is with our timing?
That's just the way we roll, bro.
Yeah, we roll.
And with everything going on in the world, it's a little difficult to talk about This Week in Wrestling, but we'll do our best. Because wrestling is so very, very serious. Right?
Boy, oh boy, you have a point. Go on.
So let's just get into the ratings this week, right? And then we're just going to we're going to do something a little different this week, I think. We're going to have a little bit of a casual conversation about hatred, right? So hatred in the pro wrestling world and today's generation and how they think about the all-important pro wrestling when everything else is going on in the world. But anyway,
go for it.
AEW Dynamite ratings up from last week. May ratings details. AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday night saw a slight increase of viewership. And this is a go-home show before their big pay-per-view. So 929,000 fans.
Go home. Just go home.
Did you catch Punk in his little shoot conversation?
I think they'll get a few more buys from that little exchange. That was
so you enjoyed it. So what did you like about it?
I just felt it was like, it had good energy and it made you interested in possibly seeing it. Isn't that the whole point of doing those things? So I thought it kind of worked.
Why did it work, though? Give me a little Pharaohism.
Notice I said kind of, because, like, before Punk got there, I would have probably, my pre-opinion before Punk got there, I would have been like, that was the greatest thing ever. Considering it's been kind of like half-assed, as far as I'm concerned, with Punk. It was a little better than half-assed. That's all I can really get with it. It was just, at least it made me want to, know the result. But what is that saying? So
do you think on Sunday's pay-per-view, does Punk get the title put around him, or are they going to keep it on the Cowboy?
Why would they? Cowboy. I think it would.
I can't believe it even said that. I just can't even believe I said that.
Don't you think it would be smart to put it on CM Punk as far as ratings go, whether we're into the current, older CM Punk who never stops bitching with his Twitter and whatever else he's got there to bitch with? I still think that he's a more guaranteed ratings draw than the Cowboy.
I think if I just gauge the normal human being, so I put it on, me and my wife, I told you, We watch.
The normal human being doesn't watch pro wrestling.
Yeah, but
what are you talking about?
But hear me out. Hear me out on this.
Okay,
A casual,
sure,
right? Just like advertising, right?
Yeah.
You know, something catches your eye, you watch it, you buy it, you
All right.
spend your money,
Mhm.
and then people make money, and the world goes round and round and round, right? So
Okay.
we're watching Married at First Sight. I told you I will not sit and watch an AEW program. I will catch it in between commercials, right?
Okay.
Even though Marriage at First Sight is over with now. Well, no, we
you
got
must
one
be
more
upset.
episode.
Are you upset?
Well, did you know that This Is Us final episode was this last Tuesday?
How was it? You used to talk about that like it was The Sopranos or something.
I got to tell you.
How is it now?
As bad as life is getting, and
Yeah.
we'll get into it, folks. I know you're thinking about pro wrestling, but just hear me out.
You're killing me with the sarcasm.
Watching, because
Go ahead.
you know, it progresses, right? From them being young children, babies, to being our age and watching their parents die and everything else going. And it's just like
You get
it's-
yourself
it's
real wrapped
somber.
up.
It's somber.
Sounds like a soap opera.
Well,
I guess it is in a way.
Guess in a way it is.
You know,
a
The
soap opera.
Sopranos was too in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Life is a soap opera.
And speaking of Sopranos, not that he was in The Sopranos, but yesterday we lost Ray Liotta
Wow.
from Goodfellas.
Yeah, I love
And so many
Goodfellas.
other movies.
Did you know that I did not even see Goodfellas when it first came out? It took me over a decade to see Goodfellas. I don't know why. It just never happened for me. People used to mention it. And then one day I wound up on a softball team called Goodfellas. And they were like, you can't play on this team. You haven't even seen the effing movie. And I was like, all right, fine. So I saw the movie. And after that, I never forgot, hey, Ma, we hit a deer. I got to borrow this steak knife. It's like the greatest. What a great freaking movie Goodfellas
Is that
was.
the greatest mob movie ever made?
That's a tough question. A lot of people would automatically say yes. I get stuck between that and The Godfather. They're so different, though, in different ways. The Godfather is like a painting. It's this beautiful painting. There's something about, maybe it's Coppola's touch, whatever it was about
Part 3 got like a scratch in the painting. Does that put a
Godfather
scratch in
3
it?
is better than people give it credit
I
for.
agree with you.
I think it's
I
pretty
will
damn
agree
good,
with you there.
quite honestly. And Godfather 2 is a masterpiece.
Well, come on.
So, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like The Godfather was more on a higher artistic level. Goodfellas feels like the streets, man. And not that lousy, whatever the hell that was that, you know. I don't even, you know that street we used to go down and we would turn the other way?
Right,
You remember that?
right, yeah, okay.
But I'm just saying, though, Goodfellas was like really gritty, felt a lot
It's
more
funny that you brought that out.
Rolling
So
Stones compared to Beatles, maybe?
It's more like,
I don't know.
It's more like the
Yeah.
world that we grew up in,
Yeah.
Godfather type it, right?
Mhm.
To Goodfellas, what's
Right.
happening in today's world, right?
Yeah.
More of a cutthroat
Sure.
type of gangster movie where
Yep.
in The Godfather they did things the right
Yep.
way, right?
Right.
Everything was very well organized.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
obviously same outcomes
Right.
a lot of times.
Yeah, well, you
but
know, I mean, Sonny in Godfather was, I guess, Jimmy in Goodfellas. I
Yeah.
mean, Sonny gets totally blown away, doesn't he? At the booth in
So,
Godfather. I
where
mean,
does
he had a
The
temper.
Departed rank with you then?
Oh,
Not
man.
that that's a mob movie, but
I can't. I'm not sure. I would
did you ever see Donnie Brasco?
No, I never have.
need to
See, there's a
watch
lot of things I
There's
haven't
a
seen.
lot of mob, because you're a big mob
I
guy.
haven't
You're a
seen
huge
what, The
Sopranos
Irishman
guy.
or something like that.
The
I
Irishman
haven't
is a
seen that.
fantastic.
You know?
That's like going to school for history.
Really?
You've got to watch it like
Okay.
4 or 5 times.
Oh, all right.
And every time it's just as good.
It took me forever to see The Sopranos, and then I love it. Oh my God!
So The Irishman's with Jimmy Hoffa, the
Mm-hmm.
whole Jimmy Hoffa experience. Did you ever see Hoffa the movie with Nicholson?
No, I never did.
Man, we got to get you on
Yeah,
this.
but well, you know, at least I've never seen Gotti with John Travolta, so I guess I've done myself a favor
You
there.
have done yourself a
Okay,
favor.
good. All
I
right,
haven't
good.
watched
Yeah,
it.
I've heard that that's horrendous.
So while AEW's ratings were up,
Up.
Raw ratings are down. Last Monday, they averaged 1.73 viewers overall.
173 million. Right.
Right, which is double of what AEW
Yeah,
is
well,
doing.
yeah, pretty much.
Again, I've given up that comparison. There is no comparison
Not in my
between
mind.
the two
I agree.
organizations.
Not in my mind.
So with all the hate in the world, right? You grew up on pro wrestling,
Yeah,
right? You grew up on entertainment.
sure.
How do you feel as an older statesman?
An older statesman.
Yes. An
Okay.
older statesman
All right,
on the
fine.
hatred
You have to speak louder. I'm older.
of the pro wrestling fan. Right? So we talked earlier, sometimes you would watch Georgia Championship Wrestling, AWA. You watched your wrestling where you could get it. Again, you were a WWE homer. I know F, but
Right.
old school fan.
Sure.
You were a homer,
Okay.
but you still enjoyed watching all this type of wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, all the lines are drawn, right? It's either your AEW or your WWE. Even though the AEW guys, okay, still swing over and watch the WWE pay-per-view so they could trash it. That seems to be the regular thing that goes on. And vice versa in a lot of ways. And then you have the more experienced, tenured wrestling fan who we call the pro wrestling expert.
Right.
Who tend to make fun of the wrestling fan, especially if you don't agree with their opinion.
Right.
So anyway, I'm going to lead this for you to entertain the fans, give you your opening feeling. What, in a world of hatred, when did this just get this bad? I don't even remember WCW, WWE being this bad.
Because it's real simple. It's when the keyboards came into our lives on a 24/7 basis that this happened. You see, in the old days, as you mentioned so well to the audience at home, I used to watch a bunch of different wrestling programs, and here's the catch. I wasn't comparing them to each other. What is with us that we have to take everything and dissect it? Well, this bacon brand isn't as good as this bacon brand, so this bacon brand must be shit. I don't think that way. I know that that's the way everybody has been trained to think over the last couple of decades with their keyboards and their phones and their internet and their opinions, but this is not how I function. I refuse to function that way. I watched wrestling, different companies, because I liked them all. And I never would say, well, this one's better because of this, and this, and that. What the F is wrong with these people? That they have to sit there and break down pro wrestling like it's as important as curing a disease? That's fucked up to me.
I'm glad you brought that up. So it's like, good. Wrestling's entertainment.
That's
right?
all it
just
is.
Like
Enjoy it.
Just like baseball, just like movies, or whatever you like to do in your life.
Of course.
But, I'm having a hard time considering what's going on in the world with the escalating fuel prices.
Absolutely.
People being murdered.
Absolutely.
People doing whatever they can.
2 bags of groceries for $75.
Right. And we're going to sit there and fight
over pro wrestling. Yeah. It is ridiculous. And I'm sure you saw Steve Kerr the other night, right? After the NBA game, or before the NBA game.
Fill me in.
Lost his mind. He's like, tonight I'm not answering basketball questions. When are we going to stop doing this to each other? There's 400 miles from here, people were shot to death. He's like, you want to ask me basketball questions? What, are we all that numb? Enough! He literally got up and walked out. I wanted to give him a medal. I was like, wow. He just basically dropped everybody's jaws right there. He's like, think about what we're doing here. We've become numb and indifferent to this insanity. What is wrong with us? And then he went off about how there's 50 senators controlling the rest of us.
Think about this.
Wow.
Think about 9/11.
I was like, holy
we had
moly.
Rob Van Dam on the couch, right? We spoke about
Sure.
He experienced that 9/11 experience, meaning that when the towers went down and the world got shut down for that time, Rob Van Dam was part of the WWE who put that entertainment out to kind of get everybody back in.
Sure.
But everybody looked at it as entertainment. No one shit on it.
Right.
Right. It was like, thank you for letting me forget about
Right.
what just happened for an hour or two.
I got you.
Or you think about, again, we live in New York, so it's easier for us to think about this stuff. Mike Piazza, even though I'm not a Met fan, hitting that home run in the bottom of the 10th.
Right. The first game after 9/11, baseball game. Sure.
Things like that.
In New York.
We don't get it anymore.
No.
And it's not even the young generation. I'm not going to tag it on the young generation anymore. I'm going to tag it on the old fucking assholes like us.
You might have a point,
that are all angry and bitter that their world of wrestling that used to be theirs, their little secret is now gone.
Move the F on and be glad that you have the memories you got. What is wrong with you? Right? I would never trade Reggie Jackson for the world, but I sure as shit love Aaron Judge. What the hell's wrong with people? God, you got to appreciate what's there.
They had their little slice, and guys like us were able to infiltrate their business.
Right.
And they don't understand it.
No.
Because they think, I never understood something. If you're trying to sell something to someone, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm this guy, and I have this magazine. But then you make fun of the audience that you want to buy your magazine.
Right. What are you doing?
Does it even make any sense?
No, not really. It's like Ozzy getting on stage. All right, all you assholes, piss off. Let's hit it. Yeah, it's like, what? He just called us what? I'm gonna sing a song now? Boy, am I a puppet.
That's a little different, though.
Then again, Ozzy might be lit that night, So.
No, but here's an example.
It's possible.
While these guys are doing that nonsense, Tony Atlas said last week that you'll have your ass in trouble
Yeah.
if you just don't pay attention to the fans with Vince McMahon.
Yep.
So as much as you hate Vince McMahon,
Right.
there's a guy saying
Right.
Vince cares about the fans.
One-
And clearly he has
Hey,
over all these years.
The story that he told that, Vince is walking through the airport. He is late. He's got luggage in both hands. And knowing Vince, that's probably pretty heavy fucking
Right.
luggage, He's a
Sure.
big boy. And he'll stop if a fan, he will drop his suitcase and sign and tells anybody else, if you ever ignore a fan, your ass is out of here. That's a great mindset.
Because they're
You
here
can't-
to entertain.
Of course.
And
Of course.
again,
You
no
know?
one is an expert.
Yeah.
I mean, I sit and I listen. Look, man, I tell you, you don't. But I tell you, I listen to these podcasts. These people talk like they know these wrestlers.
I
They
know.
know their inner thinkings.
Of
They
course.
know who they are.
Of course.
They know nothing.
No. How could they?
And you know what? That even goes to Busted Open Radio.
Right.
Tommy Dreamer was a wrestler. Congratulations.
Sure, yeah.
You were a wrestler, Tommy
Oh,
Dreamer.
yeah.
But you don't have the inner workings. You're not friends with any of the old school guys. They don't even know who you are. And let's be honest, Tommy Dreamer, and I'm not attacking Tommy Dreamer, just saying the facts. This guy was a nobody.
Tommy?
I
Wow,
guess you don't
you're
agree.
mean. No, I mean, come on. In ECW, of course, Tommy Dreamer is somebody. But if you're talking the way I understand,
ECW
the
was
lens
the
that you-
AEW
I
of the past.
Totally get. You know
The
what?
same
Don't
fans.
don't you dare compare AEW to ECW ever,
Right.
ever in my mind. In my mind, the little train that could did just fine. I mean, historically,
They
AEW
did just
AEW
enough.
is going to have their little mark, but I don't know how big their imprint will be. It certainly won't be the barrier-breaking ECW. I mean,
Here's the thing.
my God,
You must be psychic.
what a mark I am. Sorry, folks.
But you must be psychic
Yeah.
in some sort of way, because I was thinking about this
Well,
on
I
the
am.
ride over here.
Yeah.
You said the little train that could, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
You know what that train did?
What?
It got a few guys who would have never broke into the business
Hells yeah.
rich.
Yeah, it sure did.
Bubba Ray Dudley would
Dudley
never
show.
have been anything if it
Oh.
wasn't for ECW.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I like them more in ECW. But
Fair
that's,
enough.
But that's me.
But
I
that's
loved
fair.
them in ECW, but they still were great. Vince did amazing
Paul
things
Heyman
with
would
them.
have been nothing. All right?
Yeah,
That
Paul
guy-
Heyman's
look,
Paul Heyman's a scrappy genius
Paul-
who kept clawing,
Paul
and look what he
Heyman is
got.
a Belichick.
Good for him. Oi.
Right? He's a Belichick.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for ECW, he would have been in that relegated to the WCW phone guy
Right,
and disappeared.
right,
and we'd always say,
right.
remember the guy with the
Right.
mullet and
Yeah.
with the
You know what,
giant
though?
cell phone?
And to his credit, though, thank goodness he had the balls to go his own way and try to do something, and he did.
But
Good for him.
He got. But I was thinking about all these wrestlers who've had on.
Yeah.
How many have got nothing
Yeah.
from their hard work for ECW?
No, it's
so as
true.
many have pushed
Very
ECW. How many got nothing?
Right,
I
right.
would bet you the list is so much further.
Yeah.
I got nothing. For
Yeah,
it,
I
right?
can hear Roadkill, the Amish chicken plucker, calling us right now.
Listen,
Yeah,
I'll
I
name
can.
him. Why not?
Yeah. Roadkill,
Damien
the
Kane-
Amish chicken
Damien
plucker.
Kane, who was on here.
Sure.
I'm going to say Sabu, who was live in studio.
You know something? Sabu should be a millionaire. But
He
that's-
should be a
that-
millionaire.
He deserves to be one.
I agree, but he's not.
I know.
But he's not.
There's something very wrong with that picture.
Joel Gertner.
Joel Gertner is great.
But
I know.
Left in
Thank
the
God
dust.
he's smart, though, and he seems
the-
to be doing okay. Thank God.
Whatever,
But that's
he
but
does
that's
his
on
side life, right.
Thank God.
Right.
He's in the minority, by the way, of those guys who do okay, because most of them mismanage everything and put it up their nose.
this is true.
So, or
But
something
again,
like that.
the little
Ugh.
train that could.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
that small audience. And
You know what? To back your point, though, and I have to, because you are correct in certain aspects. You are absolutely correct. Tommy Dreamer is not famous on a level that we judge the most famous and most successful wrestlers on. WrestleMania, WWE. So I totally agree with you. If you go up to the average person, show them a picture of The Rock or John Cena or even Randy Orton, they might know who the F they're looking at.
Right.
Tommy Dreamer, they're going to be like, who's that?
same
know?
goes for
It's just
Bubba.
being honest.
Same goes for Bully Ray.
It's
right?
possible.
Bubba Ray, Bully Ray.
It's possible. Unless
Now,
you
he has more of a
unless
shot
you put
than
up a
Tommy
picture,
Dreamer.
an 8x10 of the Dudley Boys together,
That's right.
they might go, oh, yeah, I saw those
With
guys.
their camouflage
They're
on.
the table guys. Didn't
Yes.
they put an old lady through a table?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. No, the Dudleys, they're effing great. I love them.
But anyway, I guess the message out there to everybody is, look,
Yeah, over wrestling?
life is tough enough as
Calm
it is.
down, yeah.
Calm down.
Yep, calm the F
Enjoy
down.
what you want to enjoy.
Sure.
It's fun to make fun of stuff.
Sure.
That's fine. But
Absolutely.
to get all butthurt over it
It's
is
just-
out of control.
Yeah, yeah.
There's people that lose their mind
Yeah,
over
they
it.
do.
And for the older
do.
guys that that thought this little world of wrestling was theirs to keep and snuggle up with at night. It's over, man.
Yeah.
The curtain's been pulled back.
Of course.
Fucking guys like us can come and take over and blow you out of the water now. It's like, how did this
How you
happen? Exactly. You don't even know how it happened. You saw it start, and it was like a volcano that destroyed you.
Oh, well.
So the point is,
Them's the breaks.
it's like, it's not yours anymore. Deal with it.
Yeah, deal.
Stop calling the little fan base that you have as marks. I hate that word. It just doesn't even make sense
What is
to me.
that?
I don't get it.
Taking a crap on your own people?
What is a mark anyway?
It's hard for me to tell. I mean, I call myself a mark just because I think the term is funny.
Because you get excited over meeting somebody
Right.
doesn't make you a mark.
I don't think so.
Just because you're passionate about something
Right.
doesn't make you a mark.
Right.
Listen,
I agree.
if someone's passionate about wrestling and they know the whole entire history of wrestling and they could tell you every armbar and everything else, that doesn't make them a mark.
Right. Oh, and I got to get this out too on a mark term. If I refer to my sports team as we, and you don't like it, and you think I'm a mark or I'm delusional, screw you. Because I grew up with the New York Yankees. My father took me when I was 5 years old. If I want to refer to the Yankees as we or my team, well, guess what? That's what they are to me. What's it to you, you butthole?
Life
You know,
is-
I mean, people
life is
complain
short.
about everything.
Enjoy your life.
Jeez.
Enjoy your
Yeah.
life. You like the Beatles?
Yeah.
Jared may not like the
The
Beatles.
Beatles, that's my band.
But
They're my boys.
Right? But
There you go.
Jared may not like the Beatles. So what?
Jared loves the Beatles. And he's pointing when
Listen,
it does.
it's a really bad example.
How about the
but-
Sex Pistols, Jared? Yuck, right? Yeah, see, he said yuck. I like the Sex Pistols. Jared.
Anyway, we want to thank you guys for joining us this week in pro
Yeah.
wrestling. Enjoy SmackDown.
Absolutely.
Enjoy Rampage, even though that sucks.
Tune in.
Tune in anyway. And we'll join you
Oh,
next week,
man.
this week of wrestling. Thank you for hearing us on our rant. Pharaoh, you want to say anything
Great
to the fans
convo,
out there?
bro. Great
Excellent
convo.
conversation.
Nothing. Thanks for chilling out with us. And until next week on This Week in Wrestling. Later.